So that is a trend that we've seen, targeted incidents to specific locations, sometimes in the still of the night, and, very alarming for individuals and neighborhoods involved. So for some context, last year we had 22 shootings in total in Waterloo Region. Over the past 3 years, we've had 21 shooting incidents on average per year. And of the 5 homicides last year, 4 of them involved firearms. So it's one of our top concerns, as a community. And I think it's worth talking about at every occasion possible, because as we've agreed before, we can't allow it to become a commonplace that we just accept that this is something that happens. So we have put it at the top of our list for our crime suppression efforts, and happy to explain what that is. But, shootings in this region are amongst our most pressing concerns.
You talk about crime suppression, Mark, and I would like to, and I think we would appreciate a better understanding of what that looks like. Yeah,
so it's really, we've taken a evidence-driven approach, and we've looked across the world and certainly within North America of, how do you tackle these issues of the highest levels of violence, the people that are involved in the highest levels of victimization, the problem areas, the problem activities, and we've really re-engineered some of our teams to be really focused on evidence-driven practices, and as one service trying to have one conversation about those top things. And it might seem commonplace that every police service does that, but I can tell you, with so many investigations happening, so many calls for service every day, we need to be really diligent and unified with how we do our work. So it's something we've called a stratified policing plan, and it allows us to, as I mentioned, look at our top priorities: gun violence, robberies, break-and-enters, those types of things. And one thing that's of interest to the community was launched not long ago, something called the Provincial Firearms Bail Dashboard. And that's one tool of many, but allows our officers, as they're navigating their regular work, to be cognizant and aware of who in our community already has a history of firearms activity. And it could be people charged outside of our region that live here and are on bail conditions related to firearms offenses. Could be curfew, could be needing to adhere to any number of conditions. And this is the active conversation we've had within Canada and Ontario, is keeping people accountable. And we know that the top offenses are carried out by a very small number of people. And so if we focus our efforts in a very diligent, focused and effective way, we hope to drive down crime.
You mentioned that this is the second time already this year that this has happened, where shots in the still of the night fired into a home. We don't want it to become commonplace, but it sounds like this would be, probably because it's targeted, an act of intimidation of sorts. Are we connecting this to organized crime?
Absolutely. So when you strip almost all of these things back, it's exactly that. It's some sort of turmoil within relationships within networks of organized crime, typically drug trafficking activity. Sometimes it's a personal relationship issue between individuals or groups. By the end of the day, it's intimidation. But one bullet can go astray, and when you're firing multiple rounds into a residence, it's no mistake that the intent is not only to intimidate but to potentially hurt and kill someone. So we treat those as seriously as anything else. A shooting incident is a shooting incident. And so when we're looking at firearm activities, we are greatly concerned, and there's many strategies that we're taking to map out these investigations to hold people accountable.